Welcome everyone, it's Sierra Nova once again, and we're gonna be getting into another Let's Talk anime series, this time for Bleach. So that means we're gonna get into first impressions, some likes, dislikes, and turning points along the way, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so first impressions, I kinda have a confession. I watched Bleach a while back and I didn't enjoy it. Like, I couldn't understand the hype behind it, and I couldn't understand why people liked it so much. Now, I'm sure we've all felt that way before about an anime, you know, as far as feeling like something may be overhyped, so surely I'm not alone in this. But anyway, if it's not too late, and I haven't offended anyone yet, I'd like to redeem myself by saying that I recently started rewatching Bleach again, and I am thoroughly enjoying it. To be honest, I don't know what was wrong with me the first time. Maybe I was comparing it to another anime, maybe I had certain blinders on, or maybe I just wasn't really paying that much attention to it. I mean, considering I watched Bleach a bit earlier on in my anime journey, who knows? It's certainly a possibility. Whatever the case may be, I can definitely see why people like it, and we're going to get into that in a sec. Okay, so the first thing that comes to mind as far as any issues or dislikes would have to be the filler. Now, I know that no anime is exempt from this because obviously people don't want the anime catching up to the manga. I get that. Really, I do. But I have to say that some of the filler felt out of place and really intrusive. It literally felt as if I was skipping seasons, like a huge chunk of episodes at a time, and that made me feel pretty uncomfortable. The first filler arc I skipped would have to be the Bound arc, and a part of me really didn't want to do that because I try to enjoy every aspect of anime possible. I kind of felt like I couldn't consider myself a true anime fan if I didn't watch it through and through, and maybe that was a rookie mistake. Either way, I still suffered at the hands of my ignorance because I tried to power through it and it ended up making me dread watching Bleach. I was beginning to dislike the whole series overall. Finally, after some time, I decided to just skip the filler and move on with my life. Since then, my Bleach experience has been a whole lot better. Another mild complaint or dislike that I have deals with the side characters like Chad, Renji, and Ishida. Like, I like how Chad gained a power up in the Arrancar arc, but he kinda wasn't able to do much anymore. I also don't like how Renji literally only had one move, because I would have loved to see him do a lot more than just unleash his Bankai over and over. It's kinda predictable.
Bankai! 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 Bankai!
Now, I won't sit here and say that all of the side characters are horrible or not used because we do see a good bit of use out of the others like Rukia, the Visor, and so forth. So I will give credit where credit is due. Bleach didn't drop the ball on it completely, but I will say that I can see room for improvement. I'm not sure about everyone else, but for me, one of the things I look for in an anime nowadays is whether or not the side characters are used. That's just something that I've grown to pay attention to and something that I realize that helps with my overall anime experience. Like, for example, is the show completely dependent on a main character to be entertaining, or is it also fun seeing the side characters? Or do I dread seeing the side characters because they're boring and useless? And lastly, am I always enjoying the show because everyone is developed, relevant, and making an impact? One good example of side characters being utilized in my opinion would have to be One Piece. Literally every Straw Hat has a purpose and role that only they can fulfill. For anyone that's unfamiliar with One Piece, you have Nami, who's a navigator, Sanji, a chef, Brook the musician, Chopper's a doctor, and Frankie is a shipwright, and so forth and so on. Anyway, let's get back to Bleach and let's go ahead and discuss my final dislike about the series overall, and it actually has to do with Yami. Alright, so I may be alone on this one, but I'm not too sure. But that whole reveal with Yami being number 0 kinda didn't sit right with me. This was during the Arrancar arc, and I think Ichigo had just defeated Ulquiorra. The others down below, Chad, Rukia, and Renji were taking on Yami. So here I was the whole time thinking that Renji, everyone else just had to take out the trash because Ichigo basically did all the heavy lifting, just to find out that Yami is the strongest one. I don't know about for anyone else, but it kind of cheapened everything for me just a little bit to see that Yami was stronger than everyone else, including Grimmjow and Noidora. It just felt out of place and unnecessary, and it kind of felt a little bit too late to announce how the numbering of the Espada really went. I mean, to me, it's just kind of weird realizing that Yami is actually stronger than Stark. And again, I could be the only one that feels this way, I'm not sure, but to be frank, it felt like BS to me. Alright, so for our final section, we have the turning points and any likes. Now, this is going to sound really messed up and dark, but one thing I really enjoyed in Bleach was seeing Ichigo get roughed up from time to time. like it when an MC comes in and never faces any consequences or any turmoil whatsoever. That kind of takes the fun out of it for me. I think this is the reason I enjoy One Piece so much and why it's become my favorite anime of all time. I say that because Luffy faced trials, tribulations, and things that forced him to grow and rise above. Luffy did not win against Crocodile the first time, and Luffy never did win against Magellan. Another good example of an MC rising above challenges, facing trials, tribulations, and loss would have to be Naruto Uzumaki. We all know he went through a lot. Now if we come back to Bleach and we look at our MC Ichigo, just like Luffy and Naruto, Ichigo faced some trials and tribulations as well. And similar to Luffy, Ichigo did not win every single fight. He lost against Grimmjow the very first time he fought him, and it was a total and humiliating loss. Then in the Arrancar arc, Ichigo didn't really stand a chance against Noidora, and he completely lost against Ulquiorra the first time they fought. This may sound a bit dark once again, but I genuinely enjoy seeing things like this. I love these darker and hopeless moments that these characters face. It's no fun when you can predict the outcome all the time. Sometimes I really want to wonder how and if the character is going to make it out alive. That's how I know an anime is really good, at least for me. One other thing that's done well in Bleach, another good turning point, would have to be how Orihime and the other women are written. They are written exceptionally well in my opinion. Like, I honestly feel like most of the female characters, if not all of them, have substance to them, and I really enjoy seeing that done in an anime. Now my final turning point and thing that I liked about Bleach would have to be Orihime and Ichigo. Now hear me out. I know shonen anime doesn't really focus on romance like that, so we have to give it some leeway. But unlike Naruto and Hinata, Orihime and Ichigo didn't feel forced or rushed. Like, I genuinely felt like I could follow Orihime's feelings, and I felt as if I was almost falling in love myself. It started off with conversations, occasionally running into each other at school, to Ichigo saving Orihime a few times, and Orihime discovered things about Ichigo and her own powers in the process. I really like how she got pulled into the way of things. It was a rather smooth transition if you ask me. Like, it wasn't just full force and it wasn't intrusive. You could genuinely see the development there. As for Naruto and Hinata, they deliberately created a whole love triangle, and I don't think that was the smartest thing to do. Even still to this day, I do feel like Naruto and Sakura would have been a better choice. Naruto loved Sakura, and that was the girl that he wanted for years, so I was rooting for him. And I wanted Sakura to get over Sasuke because that would have been great development for her. We saw that Ino got over Sasuke and she claimed to be in love with him too, so I don't think anyone would have held that against Sakura, but I could be wrong. This is Sakura we're talking about after all. Anyway, the main point I was trying to make is that things were pretty straightforward between Orihime and Ichigo. There weren't any other love interests, and Ichigo wasn't in love with anyone else either. And no one was claiming that Ichigo didn't know what love was or whatever the bogus excuse was that made Naruto look incompetent. I have no beef with Naruto and Hinata. They have beautiful kids, but I wish they closed the chapter between Sakura and Naruto a lot better than what they did. Anyway, that's all I have at the moment. I think Bleach was done really well overall, and it's not like everything about an anime is going to be perfect. That's impossible. Anyway, what are some things you liked or disliked about Bleach? Let me know down below what you think. Thank you for tuning in. Sierra Nova is out.